Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Take on Tottenham. My name is Ben and this is my take on Tottenham, or should I say my take on transfer situation involving a certain Harry Kane. So let's just get into the video. Obviously you guys will know the story. I'm just going to explain it and then get into my opinions on it. So basically yesterday Harry Kane should have showed up for training as normal. And didn't. It was, I believe, the first training session since his sort of post-Euros holiday. Obviously, having been in the final, one of the last few to really be coming back, but didn't show up. And obviously, this has been reported in different ways. Obviously, there's a few people saying he's not due back till today, or tomorrow, or next week, or whatever. But a lot of people saying it was yesterday. Obviously, I'm going off the sources that I respect and believe the most, which is, you know, the likes of Fabrizio Romano, Alistair Gold, and they were both saying that it was yesterday that he was due back and just didn't show up. So let's get into that situation. So to start with, do I begrudge Harry Kane for wanting to leave the club? No, I don't at all. I don't want that to come across in this video either. I'm not going to be a Spurs fan who's bitter if he leaves. I'm going to be like, oh, you know, you're not loyal and things like that. No, I absolutely understand why he wants to leave the football club. And I still can't see it happening just because of finances from City's side. If they do buy Grealish, don't know if that makes it difficult, as well as Tottenham's asking price for Kane as well. I just sort of think it's going to be a very interesting couple of weeks, and unfortunately the longer it goes on, the more difficult for Spurs it is going to be, because obviously they're going to need to find a replacement. So I just think the longer it drags on, the less chance of it's got of happening. It's not going to be a deadline day thing. Spurs are not going to be letting Harry Kane go at the last second without finding suitable cover. But that's for a whole different video. Let's just leave that for that. Do I begrudge Harry Kane moving? No. If he does want to go, fair play to him. The club has not been able to match his ambitions, and while I do think that there's numerous amounts of things in the football club that are to blame for that, I think the player side of things is also to blame. While Spurs haven't been able to match his ambition, I do feel like we have been in a position to win those trophies. You know, everyone looks at his time and goes, yeah, you've been at the club for this long and you've won no trophies, none. And while I do agree, obviously, I do sort of think that it's not like they've not been in the position. They've been in finals, they've been in semi-finals. Yes, I know you don't win a trophy for a semi-final, but it's those positions where Spurs have notably choked at those points in time. And I do think that, you know, you do kind of have to take part of the blame as a player, you know. And it's not just Harry Kane, it's certain other players as well, which again is a whole different video and talk and everything. But certain players just don't show up in the cup finals. We know this. Champions League, even the Carabao Cup final recently this year, yes, you can blame the whole manager situation on that, but regardless of that, certain players didn't show up. And obviously you rely on your big players like your Harry Kanes to drag you through those moments. You know, I've always said, and I hate saying it because obviously his goal kind of cost us the league sort of thing, but Eden Hazard for Chelsea always seemed to me to be the player that if Chelsea were playing crap, if Chelsea were struggling to get into the game, Eden Hazard would always have been the player to just weave a bit of magic and get that goal that you need. Even if it was just one goal to get you through the game, to get you 3 points, or even salvage a point or whatever. He seemed to be that player for Chelsea. And I don't know if Chelsea fans would agree with me in that sentence, but you know, that's how I always perceived it. And I always felt like Spurs never had that player. And even with Harry Kane in, don't get me wrong, he's a world-class striker. Any team would be lucky to have Harry Kane in. But we have to obviously look at the fact that we've had finals and semi-finals and big league matches where we've needed to, you know, to step up, and we haven't. And again, that's not just Harry Kane, that's on the whole team and the manager and the board and everything, because you can blame the board for lack of transfers on big players to get you through those moments. You can blame the managers on the setup and formations and who gets picked and things. And obviously you can blame the players just because they didn't turn up in their own performance. It's a big ball of like people to blame really, but that's why I need to get that across before I get into my other bit about this argument, is that I know Spurs haven't won the trophies, but they have been in the positions. I would fully understand even more if Spurs were never in a final, weren't even in those positions to advance into, you know, trying to win a league at times, or even been in the conversation, but they have been, and they've just fallen short. But like I said, I do not begrudge him at all for wanting to move. Whilst I have that side of the argument, I also completely understand that he would want to play. And to be honest, having looked at Man City's team, especially if they get Grealish, you know, who could blame him for wanting to play in that team? It will be a very dominating team. And obviously Harry Kane would only make it stronger. He's given a lot of years' service to this club. Massive fan favourite, of course. I literally had, at work a couple of weeks ago, I had a couple of kids and their mum come in, and the kids were like wearing Spurs shirts, like full on Spurs kit. And I said to him, I was like, oh, who's your favourite player? Because I'm a Spurs fan. Who's your favourite player? And they just straight away, like even before I finished the sentence, they just went, Harry Kane, just like that. And I was like, and that's kind of the legacy he has on people. And while I understand people will say, well, football's not about legacy and respect, it's about winning and trophies. And for me, it's a bit of both. It's about winning and trophies and glory and things like that, but it's also about respect, and you know, both together. I think, you know, what if you don't think it's about that, what are we all competing for? We all want to win. We all want to win leagues. We all want to win trophies and things like this. Of course we do, but I do think as well you have to carry yourself with an air, you know, degree of dignity and respect for your club. And we've seen players, not just at our club, but other clubs, move clubs and leave under very bad circumstances, and it's been really, really messy to watch. We've had it at Spurs, you know, Luka Modric, I remember when he left, it was not good. Obviously he wanted to go to Chelsea initially, that made that worse. People still go on about Sol Campbell, and that was a very long time ago. You know, who else? Dimitar Berbatov, again, he was another fan favourite who just, it just didn't end well because of the way that move all materialised and things like that. And these things just have a degree of, I think Alistair Gold put it best, was messiness. You know, it can get very messy. Very well timed post from Matheus Pereira from West Brom. He has announced he wants to leave. He did it on a post, and in the post he said, I want to leave because I just want to try something new, and don't chastise me for that. I'm not showing any disrespect to the club or the fans. And he's had to do that because there was certain things going around in the media and social media saying that he's disrespecting the club. He wants to go. He wants to jump ship. This is terrible. It's crap and rubbish and all that. And it's like, and he's had to come out with a very well worded post as well. Go and read it if you haven't. About how he just wants a new challenge in his career, and that's fine. No one's saying that about Harry Kane. No one's saying, yeah, how dare you leave Spurs? Why would you? Sort of, no one's saying that. It's just, again, it's how you go about the move. And I think Matheus Pereira conducted himself very well in what he wrote. And, you know, I think Harry Kane should maybe take a leaf out of his book in regards to that. You know, it's been such a massive speculation. And I think skipping training, it's just not the right way to go about it. I think we all think Harry Kane's better than that as well. You know, he's vice captain of our club, he's captain of England. And I don't think anyone really expected this sort of behaviour, quote unquote. We will see what happens in the next couple of days, but I don't like it. Like I said, you've got, as well for Harry Kane as well, he's such a figurehead in the club. You've got players that are up and coming out, your Alfie Devines, your Scarlett, Dane Scarlett, sorry. You know, these guys want to be the next Harry Kane. They will be looking up at him, and probably have been for the last few years since they've come up from, you know, the youth setup through to breaking into the first team, or the under-23s, and then breaking into the first team, things like that. You know, these guys will be looking up to him as an inspiration, and have been for years. And I wonder what this sort of stuff does for them. And I worry about it as well. I worry what they must think seeing this, because it can't be good. It would be very interesting to see what the atmosphere was like on the training ground yesterday. It would be interesting what players would have said about it. But it is just one of these things that it can't end well. Spurs are set to fine him for breach of contract, which is completely fine. I said this yesterday. It was like, if my manager told me, oh, we've got some training for you to do tomorrow, and I didn't turn up because I didn't want to, I'm probably going to get in trouble. If I just went, no, don't fancy it, I don't want to do that, I'm not going in, I would probably get in trouble for that. So I think, you know, it's a bit of a weird situation. I don't like it, and I hope Harry Kane sort of sees sense and just approaches this a bit differently. I think going about it this way is not the right way to go. If you want to go, fine, whatever, and we'll see what happens. I also have to say, on my Tottenham side, you have 3 years left on your contract. Like, as well, like, it's a bit of a weird one. It's such a messy situation, and it's just another typical Spurs thing. But yeah, my opinion, I don't like it. I don't think he should have done it. And like I said, there's better ways to go about it, as Matheus Pereira has shown. So what do you think about it? What do you think is going to happen? Because I guess we'll wait and see if he shows up for any more training sessions. Jack Grealish did, you know, showing everyone how it's done. So, but it's just getting to a stage where I think it's going to get a bit weird. And then do you want a player who doesn't want to be there? That in itself is a completely different subject. And it's just going to be another typical summer in the life of a Tottenham Hotspur fan. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you agree? Do you not agree? And what would you do in this situation? I have no idea anymore. Keep an eye out for my next video. I am going to be ranking every Premier League home kit, apart from Crystal Palace. Nothing against Crystal Palace there. They're just like the only team that still haven't released it. So, but I'll be ranking every Premier League kit in the next, every home kit in my next video. I'm going to shoot that now. It might be up today, it might be up tomorrow. We'll see. And then we'll do the away kits, and then at some point when they're all released, we'll do the alternate kits as well, and maybe a couple of European kits as well, because it's that time, all the new kits are getting released, and it's a nice distraction from this sort of stuff. So so I will see you guys in the next video. Please hit the subscribe button. We are so close to 100 subscribers. I am so absolutely beyond happy about reaching that. I never thought I'd be able to sort of say that, and I know 100's small in the grand scheme of YouTube, but it means a lot to me. So I'd really appreciate if we just get over that, get over that line. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Hit the subscribe button, notification bell, all that. And let me know what you think about the Harry Kane situation. And I'll see you guys in the next video. And as always, come on you Spurs.